Welcome to the Russian language course for beginners. Today we've got lesson number 15. And today we're going to learn some simple sentences. Okay. Today we're going to learn, last lesson we learned how to say I have in Russian, I have something. У меня есть ручка. I have a pen. Or he has a book. У него есть книга. And we learned all this in details, all the grammar, why the sentence is built in this way. But we've only learned how to make a statement. How can we make a question? How can we ask, does he have a book? In order to make a question, if you want to make a general question is a question that can be only answered as yes or no. So does he have a book? And the general question in Russian language is created in a very simple way. You just add a question mark at the end like this, and it becomes a question. And how do you know? How do you know if it is not in a written form? If it is in the speech, how do you know that this is a question? You will understand it from the intonation. You can pay attention how I say a statement and the question. So first sentence will be statement. The second question will be the second sentence will be a question. The statement is: У него есть книга. And the question would be: У него есть книга. So you see, on this word есть, I would raise my intonation. У него есть книга. У них есть карандаш. So here, the general question is created by a simple intonation, which is different from English. In English, if you want to create a simple question, you need to use this word. Do you have a book? Or you need to change the sentence structure a bit. Okay. And then, if you want to ask whatever statement, they have a pencil. And if you want to ask, what do they have? Then in the beginning of the sentence, you need to add the word что. Что. And of course, you must delete this. Что у них есть? Что у вас есть? Что у меня есть? What do I have? Okay, so this is how. And you can also, instead of что, you can use the word кто. If you're asking about the person, who does he have? And you can ask this question when you want to ask whether he has a brother or a sister. Кто у него есть? And the answer would be: у него есть сестра. I believe it's pretty straightforward. The questions in Russian language are built in an easier way than in English, I believe. So this is about this sentence. And now we're going to learn another sentence which will be a bit more complicated. It is about introducing yourself. In previous lessons, we have learned a very simple introduction. A very simple introduction when you just use the personal pronoun and say, I am Alexander. Right? You introduce yourself in this way. Yeah, Alexander. Yeah, Cindy. Он Sharbas. And this is a correct way of introducing yourself, but it's not the most commonly used one. I choose this way because it's grammatically the most simple, but the most common way would be different. You would say, you would make this sentence. Меня зовут Александр. And now we are only going to, there is a lot of grammar in this sentence, which I need to explain. But we are going to be limited to only this grammatical structure. So I will only touch on some grammar. I will not go too much in details. I'll just mention first меня is я in the accusative case. Зовут means call, and Alexander is a name in the nominative case. Okay. What is the accusative case? And the accusative case. The accusative case is often used with objects. It's often used with objects. However, we will not go into details on what accusative case is. The only thing you need to know at the moment is that the personal pronouns in accusative case look the same as they look in the genitive case. You remember last time we learned pronouns in genitive case because we needed to use, you want to say I have something, you must say у меня есть, у него есть, you must use a pronoun in accusative case. I can briefly remind you how they look like. So this, in the second column, you see pronouns in the genitive case. And luckily, in the accusative case, pronouns will look exactly the same. There are only three pronouns which I want you to pay special attention, these three, because sometimes you will see that the first letter would disappear. Sometimes you see него, sometimes you see его. Likewise here, неё or её, него or его. And this letter N would appear if in front of the pronoun there is a preposition. For example, у него, у неё. you see in front of this pronoun, there is a preposition, and therefore the letter N would appear. But if there is no preposition in front, then the letter N should disappear. Okay, and in the sentence that we're going to learn today about the name, there is no preposition in front of the pronoun, so you don't need to add the letter N in front. So if you want to say his name is Alexander, never mind, I shouldn't use my name, it would be too arrogant of me. Let's use another name, Andrei. If you want to say his name is Andrei, then you must say его зовут Андрей. I just want to repeat myself one more time, that in front of here you don't need to put the letter N because there is no preposition in front, so the letter N should not be there. Его зовут Андрей. Ее зовут Natasha. And so on.
Sir, could I say у него зовут Андрей?
Say it again.
Could I say у него зовут Андрей?
No.
Okay.
U is a preposition which in English means by or near to. For у него it means by him or near to him. If you say у него зовут Андрей, it would be near to him calls Andrei. So you can't say, you must say he's called Andrei. Его зовут Андрей. There cannot be preposition in front. Okay, and the last part, last piece of grammar that I want to explain is about the word зовут. Зовут means to call. I call you, or let's call him. And here, this is not an original form of this verb. The original would be звать. Звать, it means to call. And in Russian language, the verbs always conjugate. And by the way it is conjugated, you can guess the subject. For example, like in English. Say, if you have word works, you have the last letter of this word is S, and you know that subject must be he or she or it. Okay. But in English, however, there are only two options. You can have the letter S or you can't. Therefore, it's quite difficult to get precisely what is the object, what is the subject, I'm sorry. However, in Russian language, the conjugation points you exactly on whether it is I or you or he or she. Okay. And if we look at the word зовут, then because I can speak Russian language, I know that the subject which is implied here is они зовут. Again, we're not going to learn conjugations of verbs today because it's not our topic. It's a very big topic that we'll need to cover later. But today we're not going to cover Just keep in mind that zовут is them, they call. And the direct translation of this sentence, меня зовут Андрей, it would mean, they call me Andrew. They call me Andrew. And this is the most common way how you introduce yourself. When you meet somebody new and you want to introduce yourself, you say, меня зовут Natasha, меня зовут something, this name or that name. This is the most common. Okay. If you want to ask somebody, what is your name? First, let's make two types of questions. So we take this sentence. His name is Andrew. And now you want to ask a general question. You want to confirm, is his name Andrew? So, and you want to make a general question, right? And in order to make a general question, the only thing you need to do is to add a question mark. And you ask, его зовут Андрей? Его зовут Андрей? You raise intonation on this word. Его зовут Андрей? And this would mean a question. Is his name Andrew? Hope it is clear. If it is not clear, please ask your questions in chat. There are no questions, we can continue. And if you want to ask, what is his name? Then in front, you put the question word, как. The name here. Как его зовут? Как его зовут? That would mean, what is his name? The word как, then I can just briefly remind you all the question words that we have learned so far. We have learned что, кто, and today we have learned как, and что means what, кто means who, как means how. So here we use the question word как, and you can now create all kind of or this sentence for every pronoun, for each one of the 8 pronouns. What is your name? What is his name? What is their names? What are their names? Как вас зовут? What is the name of you guys? This is plural. Как их зовут? What are their names? What are their names? Как меня зовут means what is my name? So you just need to change. You just need to change the pronoun. You choose one of these pronouns in the second column and put it to the sentence. And here, I want to remind you that in Russian language we have 2 ways of speaking to people. We have a formal way and we have informal way. If you speak to somebody who is close to you, a friend or somebody who you know very well, then you say you use the pronoun ты, you, singular, and then you would say как тебя зовут, как тебя зовут. And if the person is a stranger to you, or like is much older than you, then you must use a formal way, a polite way, and you use we, which means a plural. It means you guys, or you people. So you use we, even if you're talking to only one person, but when you want to use a formal way, you say we. Therefore, if you want to ask the name of a stranger, you would say как вас зовут. This one would be. Any questions so far? So very quiet. People are very quiet. Please ask me questions so far. If you can't, if you don't want to ask me questions, I just want to give you a short check on how well you understand the subject. These two sentences. The first sentence I put on top. Okay, please translate these two sentences to Russian and write in the chat. And so 2 or 3 people, right? They reply. Как ее зовут? First sentence will be translated as как ее зовут? And this one will be ее зовут Natasha. Okay, yeah. So you know how to use this phrase. Somebody new asked me a question. Will the ее, его always apply to all prepositions in genitive? And I don't completely understand the question because the cases don't apply to prepositions. The cases apply only to nouns and pronouns. So maybe you can specify your question in such a way that I can understand. I'll try to reply. Okay, and just one thing to keep in mind, you see, the letter yo, we learned the letter yo when we were learning alphabet. And I want to let you know that often when Russian people type on computer, then normally often, not always, but often instead of yo, they write ye. And especially frequently, it happens in newspapers. In newspapers, they don't make a difference between ye and yo, and even if they should write yo, they often write ye. So you should be familiar with the word, and you must know that this is yo and not ye. And just keep in mind that the letter yo is often written as ye, because in the past, when people were using typewriters, and typewriters were primitive, Many typewriters, they try to make the typewriters as simple as possible, and therefore they often excluded the letter yo, and somehow the tradition of excluding the letter yo, it continues until today. Many times in newspapers you don't see yo, but you see ye instead. All right. Okay, so we know you know how to introduce yourself, and because we still have time today, and then I would like to talk about names of different countries in Russian language. And the first question that I would like to explain is about the word по-русски. I think many of you wonder what does it mean, because we have on one hand we have русский язык. So the Russian would be this word, and it has the и краткое at the end, like a normal adjective. And here, first we have some strange preposition in front, and also и краткое has disappeared. And I think people wonder, what is this по-русски? What is the difference between these two? And I would explain to you what it is. But first, please tell me, do you remember what is an adverb? Adverb. In one of previous lessons, we have briefly touched on different parts of speech: noun, adjective, verb, and adverb. And does anybody of you remember what is an adverb? If yes, please write to me in the chat what is an adverb. Otherwise, I'll explain it again. Does anybody know what is an adverb? Remember? It describes the verb. Yes, it describes the verb. The best way to define an adverb. So we have an adjective, which describes the quality of noun, and adverb describes the quality of verb. Yes, Jessica, your answer is correct. Cindy, your answer is also correct. Thank you very much. So, русский, this word is an adjective, and по-русски is an adverb. Okay. So, if you want to say adverb, it is an adverb. Actually, the full translation of this would be in the Russian way. In the Russian way. So you can use this when you say I speak Russian. Russian, because here you have a verb, okay, and you can say я говорю по-русски. I speak in the Russian way, or it literally means I speak Russian language. Or you can use it with other verbs. For example, I sing Russian. I sing Russian, or I write in Russian, or I read in Russian. Okay, so here, when you have a verb, you can use this adverb, по-русски. Okay, and if you say that I know Russian language, then here, this is already not an adverb, but this should be a noun or adjective. Here you must say, yeah, I know русский язык. Or you want to say Russian language is difficult. Русский язык сложный. Here you can't exchange it with по-русски. It's incorrect. This would be incorrect. Okay. So let's start with countries. Apologize. I don't know everybody's country, but some countries I know. Let's start with Egypt. Egypt. South Africa, I know South Africa, but I don't remember Sharbas. Egypt, I know Lily is from Egypt. So Egypt.
Okay.
Russian language. So we need to learn for every country 3 phrases. The name of a country. Okay. Egypt is Египет. Египет. The stress is on the second syllable, therefore the pronunciation of ye changes to e. Египет. Then Egyptian language would be египетский язык. I don't know whether it would be correct to call it Egyptian language, because in Egypt people speak Arabic. So maybe it would be better, more correct to say арабский язык. Арабский язык.
Hindi.
If you remember our pronunciation lessons, if you have 2 letters together, one of them is voiced and another voiceless, then the first letter changes according to the second letter. So you don't say арабский, but you say арабский язык. And speak Arabic means говорить по-арабски. If I'm too fast, please let me know. Let's go
Yeah,
on.
cover you for Hindi.
Theory,
Hindi.
Hindi.
Yes.
Is the only exception. You can't say Hindi because Hindi is not a country. You see?
Yes.
In India, you have many languages. You can't say я говорю по-хиндийски. You can't say, because in India, Hindi is only part of India speaks this language, and India has many languages. So particularly for this, they say na Hindi. Я говорю на Hindi.
No. Okay, thank you.
By the way, for every language, except for Hindi, you can say я говорю по-русски. I speak in the Russian way. Or you can say я говорю на русском. Here I will need to explain to you why the ending changes to om, but we don't have enough time for it. But just keep in mind that you can say I speak in the Russian way, or I speak in Russian language. You can say I speak in Hindi, but you can't say I speak in Indian way, because in India there are many languages. Maybe one more. I thought I will be able to cover more languages, but let's go for English. Let's explain English. If now we're английский язык, Anglia is England. Anglia is England, and English language английский язык. Английский язык. And to speak English, говорить по-английски. Or на английском. And I'm very sorry, it shows me that there is only 1 minute left. And I can't explain more languages. I think we'll do it next lesson. Okay, your homework would be to make a few sentences. Ask somebody what is his name, what is your name. Make 5 questions asking for name. 5 questions asking name, and also 5 answers giving names. And this will be your homework. Very simple. And you don't need to handwrite it already because your handwriting is very good already. You can just type it to me and send it to me private message. Okay, dear friends, thank you very much for coming. Happy to see you, and see you again on Wednesday. On Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday.
До свидания.
Okay.
Thank
See you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.